My son and my band are here, and his band, who is arguably the best band I've ever heard, who are 20 and 21-year-olds, and I mean that, they are prodigies. And tomorrow night they will make their international. Don't take pictures. I'm going to come over and take pictures with you, okay? Just don't, because I just had eye surgeries on both my eyes, and I know that means probably very little to you, but when you're blind, sucks. Anyway, I will come over and to each table, and I will meet each one of you, because I think part of the reason I wanted to do this, and I was offered an opportunity, is that I am a very blessed man holding all of you, and all of you all over the world. And the other night in the U.S., I had one of the most incredible nights I've ever had in my life, and I got very emotional, as I'm sure I will tomorrow. My son is the most special person I've ever known in my life. He's an incredible human being. He is an amazing talent, and he is the finest production I've ever made in my life. But I tell you what, a special person. He's gone now, and I can talk about him. I couldn't otherwise, because he'd be like, he's the most incredibly compassionate, kind, loving human being I think I've ever met in my life. And when I say that, I've been told that by everyone from the time he was 5 years old, when he took little girls who were vomiting all over themselves in the schoolyard, and put his arm around them when everybody else was laughing, and walked them into... I mean, I can't tell you how many times I heard these stories. And my greatest pride is seeing him live his dream, which he is. And I have lived my dream because of you. And I want to take this opportunity to ask you if you would just please, for me, allow me to come over and very quickly, because if all of you had cameras and I had to take pictures of each one of you with each camera, it would take 4.5 hours. So what I'm going to ask you to do, and I don't know, Scott, did you ask everyone to do that? Yeah. Okay. If one person just takes a picture, I'll go from one to another, because I just want to just acknowledge you for giving me such an amazing experience in my life for the last 40 years. And I truly love you, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Tomorrow night is going to be one of the most special nights of my life, and I hope for you it will be. I don't know when I'll be back. I would love to come back. As you know, I love your country, and if the weather was better, I'd live here. No, I just can't take the gray. You know, it's sunny, and then like 15 minutes later, it's raining. I did 2 television shows today. I'm like, what? It was just 15. I walked in the studio 15 minutes ago. Now it's raining. What is it? But it says so much about you that you're able to have such. You know, you are so amazing. No, you're amazing. Your enthusiasm and everything for life has been that way. You sing, you applaud. I mean, the Americans are very, how do I describe it? We are less enthusiastic. And maybe part of that is, we have sunshine. You're right. You're right, Don. Can I tell you something? What's so fantastic? The East Coast and the Midwest, which is the coldest and darkest and grayest and harshest part, which is much like where Britain is, are the most unbelievable fans of sport and music and everything. And the enthusiasm, because I was born in New York and I was raised there, and I am part of New York. Even though everybody perceived me as being a California boy. Yeah, I spent my teenage years in California, and I kept missing that intensity, that, I don't know, I could use so many adjectives to describe it, but it's almost indescribable. But you have it it in spades. And I've gotten the American audiences, and I've said to a few of them, when I go to Britain, if I go to Australia, or if I go around the world, you are the most laid-back people, particularly in the Midwest or the West. They're like, whoa, man, they're like, waves are so cool. But the people in New York are much like you, and it's where I come from, and I relate so much to you. And I have such appreciation for the love and the support you've given me, in spite of the fact I haven't been here at times for 10 years. And I didn't do anything that you could see. I didn't do television. I didn't do radio. And there were times in my life I was lost. And I'm going to not speak this in depth with the audience tomorrow night, but I will speak to you all because you are obviously my extended family. And I mean to you what you mean to me. And for whatever reason we have in this earth, in the cosmos, we have connected. And I don't know what it is I do, except I love what I do. And I couldn't be doing what I do for so long as I have, which is about, other than Sinatra, way longer than Elvis or the Beatles, done what I love to do more than anything else without you. And you have given me just the most incredible experience that any human being that loves to do what he loves to do. And I have never once taken it for granted. Never once. I have never once thought, yeah, they're just my fans. No. Without you, I'd be pumping gas. Like 99.9% of the people that started when I started, they were all gone, except for very, very few. Stevie Wonder. I started before Rod. I started before Elton. And, when you think about it, there are a handful of people that have the kind of love and support and passion that I have had. There's a handful. You know what the handful is? The four lads from Liverpool, who I know and knew, and some of you know my connection with John and with Paul, but mostly with John, because he became my friend. Elvis, who I met and acknowledged me as being bigger than he was because of you. Sinatra, who couldn't stand me because I was he was just some young hippie, but was the first. And the Bobby Soxers, they didn't scream, they didn't go nuts. They were like, hey, because there'd been nothing like it before, except for maybe, and I won't even go back that far, but Sinatra, Elvis, myself, and I know that some of you might think there's resentment, which there isn't, but Donnie had a great run, and he's a very talented guy. I have no resentment. I know over here people think there's like this. There's none of that. I respect anyone with talent, and he has a lot of it, and so do the boys, and I played with the boys, and they are amazingly talented, and I have a lot of respect for them. But there's me, there's Elvis, there's Sinatra, there's the Beatles, and there are many others that followed who we will see as the test of time, but how many of them 40 years later have the kind of love and support that I have? I can't think of any. Sinatra had a really wonderful following, and he was legendary, and what he did in his time, no one will ever do. What the Beatles did in their time, no one will ever do. To me, John was the voice of the 60s. He changed my life. He changed your lives. His voice as a person, as a human being, changed everyone's life. he had such a commitment to bringing peace and love to the world that everyone, as cynical as we are now, laughs at. I don't laugh at it. I believe it's necessary. I miss his voice. I wish the world were different than it is today. And I'm sure a lot of you think and reminisce about what a different world it was back in the 70s and the 80s. And unfortunately it's not, but it's the world we have today. But we have each other, and we have love, and we have togetherness, and we have a connection that will, for me, last forever. And I truly mean this from the bottom of my heart. I owe all of it to you. And I thank you. I want to come around, and if one of you will just assign someone, I'll come and just take a quick picture with each of and every one of you, and know how much it means to me that you would come and be here tonight with me, and know the appreciation I have for you, and your passion and your love is just, I can't even articulate it, but just know it's real. And even for the 4 guys that are here tonight as well, I appreciate that too.